Thinking about upgrading your home? Hello, I'm Philip Pantana. Whether you want a modern kitchen, a stunning bathroom, a sturdy deck, or even a brand new addition, our company, Perimeter Remodeling and Restoration, can make it happen. From quick interior repairs to full-scale renovations, homeowners trust us for expert craftsmanship and excellent service, always delivered with the care you deserve. Schedule your free consultation now at perimeterva.com. Call or text 434-515-2868.
This is Talk Local to Me from the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Streaming live each week on Media Squatch Plus and available on demand in the app or wherever you get your podcasts. Local stories, local business, local impact.
Hi, welcome to Talk Local to Me.
I see how it is. So he just comes back on the show and decides to take it over.
I was showing her something on the iPad, and she was like, "Oh yeah," and then she picked up her phone, and I'm like, and we're still getting used to the new intro, right? Yeah. So, hi, I'm Heather Alto with this Virginia Business Coalition,
and I'm Mike Norfield with Visiting Angels, America's Choice in Home Care.
You forgot the pause, but other than that, flawless execution.
Thank you. Now we're back. We're together. It's been like a couple weeks since we've been both here.
Yeah, it's been wild.
We've had things happen. Life has been lifing, and
2 weeks ago, you weren't able to be here because you had an emergency going on or something.
Yep, and I did.
I didn't see sunshine at all last week, so business is fine. Right.
Business is fun.
So it is.
Well, mine was business is fun. Mine was also more personal. I had some issues going on with my little. So, but we're working them all out, and everything's fabulous with her now. So we're good to go.
We are here rising like a phoenix from the ashes.
Yes, which will make more sense.
Foreshadowing there a little bit.
Yeah, make more sense in just a little bit. So, but welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in with us at Talk Local to Me. And as you know, we have a couple of guests that are joining us on the show today. But before we get started, we are going to let you know how you can support local in the community in the next week or so, things that are coming up with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, and how you can come out. And if you're a small business listening in, how can you network? If you are not a small business listening in, you're just someone in the community, you can find out how to support a small business that potentially has something coming up. So we have a lot going on. Although I feel like things are they're gonna kind of like, I don't know.
You said that I listened to the episode last week.
What did I say?
You were like, yeah, it's going to kind of like be calm and things like that. And then literally you sat down today and you're like, we have something new to announce.
So we do have something.
I just put my head on the table and cried. It was fun.
As you guys know, I don't ever just let what is it? They always say rest on your laurels, which I don't even know what your laurels are, but know, whatever. I don't do it. I don't rest on any of those things. So, but we do have some networking coming up. I will say November and December are going to slow down a little on the networking front because of the holidays. So we don't have as many coffee talks and that going on. But I have added some other things in just for the fun of it, because why not?
Yeah.
But we do have this week, we have our business off the clock. So if you are a business that can't always come to our morning events, but you can come to our evening event, we are going to be there on Thursday. That is tomorrow evening from 5:30 to 7 at Sweet Indulgence Bakery, who is just, ironically, here with us in the studio today. So we're going to be learning more about Sweet Indulgence and Ashley and her business today. But that is where our networking event is tomorrow evening. So we encourage you guys to come out and meet other business owners in the community. We have a ribbon cutting on Friday, so come join us for lunch. We are going to be doing a ribbon cutting for the new Yamada of Forest. That just is reopening under new management, new owners. And if you want to come out and kind of get your hibachi fix, and they have sushi, and they do the thing where you like cook on the grill in front of you, like you yourself, like you cook it sort of style. I don't know what that's called, but I'm so excited to go for hibachi. So join us for lunch at noon at New Yamada, right there off Gristmill Road. And then we have coming up soon our coffee talk for the Lynchburg, Bedford area is going to be here in Bedford. And I'm super excited for this. I know y'all have heard me talk about the Blue Lady Cafe before. I talk about their food. They've catered
I went there
events
for lunch
for us.
today. Their BLTs are still amazing.
Yes, I eat there at least once a week. They are fabulous. They're here in Bedford. And the thing I get is people will eat, like I'll take stuff that's been catered. They'll be like, where is this at? Like, who are they?
Right.
So now you will come find out, because we're hosting Coffee Talk on Halloween, the 31st, from 8 to 10 a.m. at the Blue Lady Cafe here in downtown Bedford. They are on East Main Street, and I encourage you to come. You can dress up. You can not dress up. That is optional if you want to wear
Believe
a costume.
it or not, I have my costume ready.
So, yes, Megan and Autumn and I have a costume prepared, so we are
I want to know.
excited.
I'm going to have to miss it. I'm going to be on an airplane at that time. So.
But it's going to be fun. So we hope everyone can come out and join us. And then we also have our sponsor breakfast November 6th if you're a business in the area. And you know, if you're listening in on the show today, you've probably heard us talk about all the events we do all year long. Maybe all the things that we do all year long, not just necessarily events. What do we do for the community? What do we do for our business owners? So we can't do any of that without our sponsors. We have a plethora of annual sponsors that help to support our organization all year long. And right now we are looking for our 2026 annual sponsors. I say sponsors, I really mean partners, because really what you're doing is partnering with us in all that we do. And if you're interested in potentially becoming a partner.
So is it going to be a partner breakfast?
Yeah, it can be.
Like
Partner breakfast.
I kind of like what Blake said last week is like when you know, you support Puzzled, like you're not just a sponsor, like he's going to partner with you.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, I see things like people sponsor stuff. But really, and I think one of the things people tend to say when they're asked that question of what is one of the biggest benefits of being a member of the CVABC, the majority of the time is going to... Anyway, the majority of the time when people aren't pre-prompted is the community and the relationships that are built. And part of that is like, we don't want you just to come in and be a sponsor and just throw your money at us.
Right.
We want to build those partnerships and the relationships where it's a give and take. Mm-hmm. We're all receiving something, and we're building a community, and we're building a partnership of business owners that are here to do the best they can for the local community and the small businesses in our area. So that's what you're supporting. You're not just giving money to us that I'm just, hanging out and eating bonbons at the back room or things like that.
Bonbons aren't bad though.
I mean, they're not. But yeah, so we'd love to have you guys at our sponsor breakfast. And then, just so you guys know, rolling into the end of the year, Christmas parades are coming up. December the 6th and 7th. Bedford's is the 6th. Lynchburg's is the 7th. And applications are open. If you need an application, contact us. We can get you that information so you can get signed up. And we're really looking forward to all the floats and all the fun activities. We also handle the tree lighting along with John Hayden and the Bedford Farmers Market. That's happening that same day, but in the evening. And I'm really excited this year because we're going to be closing the roads down throughout the whole day. And we're going to be adding some new aspects to that for the day. So we'll have vendors, and we're going to do a stocking stroll, and we're going to do a lot of fun things for kids. So put that on your calendar as well. That's on the 6th. And then
we also have the shopping event.
Do you remember when I didn't have, we have all kinds of, remember I didn't have much to say? I do. Small Business Saturday is coming up the day after Thanksgiving, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, Small Business Saturday. So we are doing our Shopper on the Shelf. That is a day where you can go out and visit local retail businesses that are going to have elves in their establishments. Each elf has a different name. So no, you can't go to one establishment and pretend like you went to all 20 or however many we have, because when you put in an entry saying you've been to that location, you have to give us the name of the elf at that location. So you'll only know it if you're actually at the location and can see their elf name that they have. So it's going to be fun. We've got lots of really cool giveaways already that the businesses have donated for prizes for gift baskets. So I mean, it's free. You don't necessarily have to purchase something to put in an entry. However,
but you might as well start shopping for Christmas.
Right. However, if you do purchase something, you do get an additional entry for every item that you purchase. So that's exciting. Great way to support local. So we've got Shopper on the Shelf coming up. We have the Central Virginia Business Coalition Holiday Open House that will be happening in December. It's a great way to come in and find out more about what we do and grab you some treats. And then the newest edition, what Mike doesn't know about, what nobody knows about, because I just did it this morning and I just decided we're doing it. We are bringing back, as some of you guys know, we used to be the Retail Merchants Association. The Retail Merchants Association used to do a wreath auction that was a fundraiser for the RMA. And so we are bringing back the wreath auction for this year. And this is where businesses will create a wreath and they'll donate think of it as like a silent auction, but the wreath is the basket is kind of what I was telling people. Yeah. So they can decorate the wreath, but they can be like, for example, let's say Visiting Angels is like, I'm going to donate a wreath for the wreath auction. Now, we are asking that it be at least of $150 value. So you put together, it can be gift cards. It can be like...
Some like Northfield Original.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be whatever you want. But, it has to have a decent amount of things. We want people to bid on it as it is a fundraiser for our organization. But whoever wins that auction not only wins the beautiful wreath that you've decorated, but any of the added value that comes with it. So the wreath is the basket. And they're going to be hanging. So there's a new holiday market opening inside Riveridge I think it starts November 20th and it runs all the way through Christmas Eve. Okay. So the wreaths will actually be hanging on the wall of that market throughout the entire time. And people can go in there and we'll have a QR code they can scan that'll take them straight to a silent auction bidding site. Okay. And people will bid on those up until I think a week before Christmas. And then they can come get them in case they're using any of the winnings as Christmas gifts or things like that. So I'm super excited for it. So now we just got to get businesses to jump on board and do a wreath. So, Mike?
Wait, why keep looking at me?
Because you're going to do one.
I'll do one.
I've already put them down. Great. So we're hoping to get about 30. So if we can get 30 businesses at least to donate and do the wreath, it'll be really cool. So yeah, that's what we got. Lots of things.
I like it.
I'm done talking. I'm tired. So I'm not going to talk.
Anybody that knows you, Heather, knows that you never have nothing to say, and 2, you were never done talking.
That's right.
So, which is why we're here. So it's a good thing.
And it's why we have this show.
Yeah.
I just wanted somewhere to talk every week.
Right. You wanted to know.
Talk local to me.
You wanted to know somebody would listen. And
so here I am.
I don't know how I ended up here, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
If my cousin's listening, she's probably like, yes, that is true, because she's with Begin Again in Consignment, and she's one of our people that are doing Small Business Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I was just over there the other day. I bought a really pretty table, and I told her, I was like, you got to get on the show with me because you haven't been on the show yet.
Yeah.
But she's probably listening and saying, yes, Heather doesn't ever shut up.
Right.
So,
right.
But yeah, so that's a lot of there are so many opportunities, and I'm not even just talking about with us. Check out your local community boards and check out other areas. There's so much, especially now, nonprofits. They're really out there doing different events to try and help with like Christmas coming up, Thanksgiving coming up, the holidays. It's a really hard time for people. Mm-hmm. How can you go out and help a local nonprofit? Please check in on your small business owners. Like, how are you in there helping support them? Go and grab, like this morning, I went to Riveridge. No offense to Seven Brew. I'm sure they're fabulous. I needed a coffee. I didn't go to the drive-thru. I parked my tail in the little parking spot and I walked in and I got a Mission House coffee because that supported Tommy and a small business owner. So like, how are you making those small little steps to support local business and others in the area? That's, yeah. See, I'm going to get off my...
No, I think that's right.
Off my high horse right now.
Those small purchases, as Rob over here was taught me, is that they make a difference.
Small purchases do. They do add up.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
They do.
So, speaking of local small businesses, and speaking of, just helping out and rebranding and rising from the ashes and phoenixes and everything that we've talked about so far today.
Right.
We've got Ashley Beesley here with us with Sweet Indulgence Bakery. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
It's been a great week.
Yeah.
It's been a wild week.
It's been a wild week.
It's been crazy.
And if you haven't seen the Facebook post and everything else.
If you haven't seen the Facebook post, you must live under a rock because it's like all over social media right now.
It's been everywhere. I've seen it several times and I was like,
good.
Who is this annoying lady? Oh, it's Ashley. Hi, how are you? No, love Ashley and love her. Like, I've never met a baked good that she's made that I don't like. So, it's fantastic. And so to see your rebranding and like immediately it's your eyes drawn to like the phoenix coming out of the cupcake, right? So not quite rising out of the ashes unless you burn the cupcake.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often, but it might have happened in the past, maybe. Who knows?
It happens occasionally.
So tell us a little bit about why you wanted to rebrand and like where this whole journey came from, kind of knowing a little bit of that story.
Yeah. So it started with, Rob, I don't even remember. We were sitting there talking about something else. It was out of the blue on my part in terms of conversation. We were talking about something else completely. And I pointed my logo. I was like, hey, I want to refresh this. This is outdated. It was like, I did that back in 2008. I mean, it was old. It needed to refresh. And there were lots of things back when my, 19-year-old brain developed that logo. I didn't know what I know now about marketing. I didn't know what I know now about printing and coloring and all this stuff. And I just want something simpler and something that just said, hey, this is who we are.
Mhm.
And so Rob was like, I'm so glad you said that. And then I think like not even a week or two later, you had like this whole mood board. I was like, I love it. And it just kind of started there.
Mhm.
So Rob was definitely the brainchild behind. I had no part in that except for, hey, I love this. And my team and I got to see the logo ahead of time, obviously, and we loved it. And it felt but it resonated in it too. It wasn't just like, oh, it's a pretty logo like before.
So the message behind it
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
there's a lot more to that than just
Yes.
what your mission is, right? Because it fits your mission
Yeah.
perfectly,
Mhm.
but also knowing how hard it is to run a small business and knowing some of the struggles that you faced and some things that you've shared with
Yeah.
us, not on the podcast, but outside of there,
Yeah.
and where you are now. So I see a joy and a hope in you that I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, it reignited my hope. It reignited my passion in the company. And just so through the process, so those of you at this table know that November 30th of this year was supposed to be our last day in business. We
Right.
were closing our doors. That was it. We just couldn't hold on. Last summer, we moved into a new space and it was one problem after the other, one costly problem after the other. And that combined with my ego, it almost ended us.
Yeah.
And so like I had called the SCC, like I had let all the vendors know we were closing, like it was done. And then Rob, I'll let you share that part when you get there. But Rob had generously offered to come alongside us and share his talent and his wisdom for a full year. And that at that moment reminded me, okay, this matters. This is supposed to happen because the night before that event, I had literally hit my knees on my bedroom floor and I was like, God, I don't know what you want from me. Because he was leading me in so many different places. And one direction was to fight for the bakery and the other direction was to end it and do a totally different career path down the nonprofit side. And so I was like, I don't know what you want from me. I don't want Sweet Indulgence to end. I'm not ready to let this go. But if that's what you want, then let's go.
Mm.
I will go where you tell me to go, but you got to tell me where to go. And the very next day, Rob made his offer. And then a week.
And that was at the Lead On Summit.
Yeah.
So Rob was speaking and it was, did a great job, by the way. And you were way better than that last guy. And which, spoiler alert, that was me. But you could tell like the impact you were having on the crowd. And then Ashley spoke up, and I don't even remember what you said, but you were basically like, I just
remember
give up.
Yeah.
explicitly. He was talking about marketing and getting people to come into your store. And so I had asked questions. I was like, well, what if you don't have a storefront? And a storefront's not an option. And because of our mission with what we do, it's just not an option for us. Or rather, it's not an option I'm willing to explore.
Right.
And so he was like, well, this is how you do that. And I was like, okay. But I was like, okay, I guess I can try that. And then like 30 seconds later, and I'll never forget, he turned around, he goes, you know what? I love what you're doing. I'm going to donate a whole year of my services. And everybody at that table with me knew that we were closing. So they knew what a big deal that was.
It was emotional.
Well,
It was
the
emotional.
5 of us at the table immediately burst into tears.
It wasn't just them.
It was a very
not just
powerful
them.
moment, honestly, for me, because I knew that you were considering it. And it also, like, the powerful piece of it too was the fact that we had this, it was exactly what I had hoped that conference would be in a way. When we did Lead On, it's about, bringing people in and giving these small business owners a space where they can learn from others, but then like that, just having that exchange where you saw that partnership just start to grow and in an unexpected place. Like you didn't come that day expecting that.
I didn't want to go
from it. It was awesome.
I only went because we were providing the pastries.
That's right. She was bringing me food.
Yeah, I was in such a low space. I was devastated. And I'm so invested in so much of me is in this mission that I was just devastated. And I was at that, I had some really deep depression. I was like, what's the point anymore?
Mm-hmm.
None of this matters. Everything that I've tried is broken. It doesn't, I was just in that low point. And so, I can't wait for Rob to share his why behind it though, because that is incredibly powerful. And it goes to show how small businesses and leaders within our community, it's a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's just influencing one after the other. And I'll let him share that. But And we keep referencing the mission, and I've yet to share the mission. So
That's okay. Getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there.
our tagline in the new logo, it used to be Eat, Enjoy, Indulge. It is now Baking Hope, Serving Healing. And that is because our company employs women who are rebuilding after domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. That is why we do not have a storefront. These women are often dealing with social anxieties, fears that you cannot imagine or comprehend, and they have been through incomprehensible things. Some of them recently just shared their stories for the first time, and that's huge. I'm all about empowerment there. Our entire space is built on psychology, so they get to choose their own schedules, because if that positive control is given, they're less likely to return to drugs or alcohol, to a negative control. There's a kids room so that they can bring their kids to work, so that they don't have to pay for childcare. There were so many times when school was out that I was stuck deciding, like, well, do I pay the sitter or do I not get paid? And either way, I had no money for groceries. And it's just, that helps relieve that. And then it also goes a little further, because they're not so stressed out financially in that area. They're able to nurture their children, because it's not just the moms who are rebuilding and healing. These children are healing too. And healing's not done in a straight line. Our staff have the ability to, like, one of my girls today came in, she goes, hey, my daughter asked if I could go to lunch with her. Sure, go. You have complete and total control over their own schedules. They can prioritize their families. They can live life around work instead of work around life. And they just have, obviously we have standards and we have policies and stuff, and they have to give us notice. But it works. I don't know how, but it works. And it's really cool to see these girls gain their voices back too. That's important to me. When you start telling your story, it's the first form of empowerment. And I started telling my story a few years ago, and I just haven't shut up since. So, but I think Rob, working with me, he did multiple things. One, he showed me how to tell our story with a single photo. And more importantly, showed me that it mattered. That what I was doing mattered, and that it made a difference. Because when I thought I was closing, I thought, man, people aren't getting behind this. People don't care. And it wasn't they didn't care. They
didn't know.
Exactly.
Right.
They didn't know. He taught me how to communicate what we were doing, because I'm not the best communicator, as my staff has told me in the past.
Speaking of not knowing, like you mentioned, like your rebranding has kind of been all over the place. Have you already had anyone reach out that just was like, oh, I didn't even know this business was here? Because I know sometimes you see that a lot. People they don't know.
Yeah.
And in your case, it's harder because you don't have that storefront.
Yeah. And we're tucked away. So
Yeah.
it's like we have a 4,000 square foot kitchen that we operate out of.
That's amazing.
I love that space.
Right.
But we are tucked away in a business park that almost everybody that comes in, oh, I didn't know this was back here. Well,
Right.
that's kind of by design.
Right.
We're not a hidden address, but we don't want you to find us easily. But on the downside, it's hard to market, which is why I'd asked him, well, how do I market? Because, how do you do that? But I have had people that are like, oh, especially like walking into one of my wholesale. So we provide pastry for Millie's. I walked in today and gave them all their pastries, and then gave them our new business cards, which has been really fun, going into the new business, say, hey, can you throw this old stuff away? Because here's the new stuff. And seeing their reaction. Well, their reaction got the attention of a couple customers, and the customers were like, whoa, I didn't know that was you. And where are you guys located? And like just seeing already sharing things and changing things out, like, hey, I didn't even know you existed. This is really cool. I've had we've gotten emails, people asking how they can get involved in our mission. So we're putting together a volunteer list, because we constantly need people to come in and help put cookies in a bag.
And if you're busy and you don't have time to go and volunteer at the bakery, you can join the Phoenix Club, which I've been looking at.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I love this.
Before we get into that, I want to touch on volunteerism.
Thanks,
Really.
Rob.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another brainchild of
Finish that thought, but I want to make sure we talk about that.
Yeah. Volunteer wise, what is the age limit? Do you have an age?
So yes, it depends on what we're doing. So if we need packing cookies, we've had girls in there as young as 6. The only thing we don't allow is men, for obvious reasons. We will allow men to help us at like our event stands, mainly because we don't want to turn men away completely, because what the other part of our I guess exposure therapy, I don't even know what you want to call it, but because I'm not a therapist, we have I want women to understand they can trust men, that not all men are horrible and not all women are horrible, because some of our survivors were lesbians and it was their partner that hurt them. It wasn't a man that hurt them. It was another woman.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, domestic violence and sexual assault and human trafficking is not one sex.
Right. I was going to say, and it's not always sometimes men are victims of domestic violence.
And I felt so bad.
Yeah.
We had a domestic violence survivor, a male, reach out to us for employment, and I couldn't. And I sat down with the girls and I said, hey, I said, we have this survivor. I said, what do you guys feel about it? Because at the end of the day, my girls that are already there are my top priority, and their safety are my priority. And all of them wanted to help, but none of them were comfortable, which is fair. And so I told him, I was like, well, I don't have anything here, but here's who you can contact. Yeah. And that's why we're partnered with so many organizations. It's because we can't fill every need. I can't do counseling. I can't fill their cupboards. I can't fill their closets, but I know organizations that can, and we're partnered with these organizations that can. And that's been something that I think I've really realized with working with you, Rob, is that, I can do a lot, but I can't do everything.
Right. You can only show up with your best.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And if I'm trying to do everything, I'm going to end up closing because I'm so spread thin that I can't even focus on what I am good at.
Right.
So and we had a lot of problems then too, because I refunded a lot, because in that period of time I was I was degrading myself too, and then feeling so worthless. And then I was spread so thin, I couldn't give the attention to the quality that we're known for. And I kept getting complaint after complaint, which also added to my plate of like, yeah, we don't need to be doing this. We're not, that whole negative mindset.
Right.
It was, it's a wild ride.
It is
crazy.
It is. And so again, like, that's why I love the logo, because it's like, it's personal for you, but also for the mission of the bakery as well. Like, and it's great. And it's like that. And I love the thing that she said, and all I saw was like the boxing match, whatever, like headline. And it's like marketing versus mission, right? Like, how do you market a mission that you can't necessarily like put your employees and things out in the middle of your marketing, right? Yeah. So it's, how do you balance that? Yep. So like, I think that was the biggest challenge. And you seem like the kind of person that likes a challenge, Rob. So I think you saw that. You were like, I could do, like, I like this.
That's why
I like your mission.
ABC too. He's like, yeah.
Let's be creative and find a solution. And like, I think it's, just from what I've seen in this. So I do want to talk about this Phoenix Club.
Yes.
What's it called? Because
yes. So that was the brainchild of Rob. So I'll let you kind of talk a little bit about that, and then I can jump in. But I do want to put in, it was my staff that came up with the name of the Phoenix Club. Or the name, the Phoenix Club. We involve our staff in a lot of the business decisions, superficial business decisions. Obviously, there are some things that they don't get privilege.
Right.
But yeah, this is, if you look at our website, the very first word or the very first sentence is this Trauma Bakery is run by survivors for survivors. And it really is ran by the survivors. It's not just me. It is because we work in a small and intimate setting, and because we're all making our own schedules, myself included, it requires a team effort at a level that you just can't even fathom. And so it is ran by all of us. We all come up with products. We all come up with how things are done. We all, it's a family, and we take care of one another.
And I love that, because like, one person can't come up with all the good ideas, right? All the
half the stuff in there is my staff stuff. I don't even know. I come up with the recipes. They come up with the ideas, and sometimes they come up with the recipes.
Right. And that's what you want. You want them to be able to not just.
It empowers them.
Yeah.
Because when they come up with something, and I say, yep, let's do that. Let's put that out. That tells them, one, it's good enough. I don't want them to put their value in their work, but that's the start of it. This matters. This is good enough. It's important. And then when they see the public's response to what they've created, the pride in that, my manager, I love when people praise our croissants, because she does that and she pours herself into it.
They're so good.
She does an amazing job. And she does this like little, like she'll like stand up a little taller, and she gets this big smile, and even her like shoulders do this little wiggle. She's like, those are my babies. And it's just like, I love to see that excitement.
Well, that's evidence of healthy work culture,
Absolutely.
Right? If you have fresh ideas in a work culture, it's a healthy culture. If you have an absence of ideas, look out. You're in a terrible spot.
I think that's the biggest reason. Like, I love that you do that, because I'm always talking to my employees now. I joke about how they go, "Oh, Heather's doing something new," and I just jump into things. I do.
Yeah,
but
me
I
too.
do always come in and ask them like, "How can we make this better? Or what can we do?" And even like with our my delegate team. So I have a team of volunteers.
I'm on it.
We come once a month, and they come together, and I say like, "Hey, this is what we're doing," and the feedback I even get from them that we then implement, because I know they're the ones that are actually coming to the events or have been helping volunteer at the events, and they see things maybe I miss, or they can say, "Hey, this might be better if we tweak this for this year." It's that's how you keep, like you said, a healthy relationship going with your staff members or your volunteers, and it kind of helps with job turnover, because then people don't feel like, "Oh, she's not approachable. I can't talk to her. I can't ask her." It
keeps me in check too. It keeps my arrogance in check, because one of the downfalls that we had last year is that I caught myself getting a little too arrogant, and it wasn't against my staff or anything, but it was like being judgmental on something I'd see online. I'm like, "Oh, when in the reality is I started there too." And just forgetting where I came from. And forgetting that at the end of the day, I have done none of this and God has done it all. And I lost focus, and I allowed, and then from there, it just continued to snowball. I've been pretty open about my arrogance being part of our downfall.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's an easy trap to fall into too, right? Like, when we first opened our office, people would be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Well, we're like name competitor but better." Yeah. Right. And it's like, we hadn't even started anything yet. Like, how can we be better when we haven't even done anything? Right. And so it's when people call and they're like, "Well, how are you and your competitor different?" And it's like, really at the basics, we're not. We both provide the same kind of care. We both do it the same kind of way. So we do things a little bit differently office to office. And I was like, but like, I'm one of the owners and I'm sitting in the office. I answered your phone call. Yeah. Like, call my competitor, ask to speak to the owner and see how many times you get transferred.
Clients love that. When I tell a client, like if I'm out and about, "Well, how do I order a cake?" Go to our website, fill out our inquiry form, and it puts you in contact with me. And they're like, "Oh." Yeah. I'm like, it's me that you speak with. It's not some Joe Schmo. It's not a recording. If you call the shop, it's me that you speak with, because my staff refuses to answer the phone.
Well, going back to what you said, Mike, it's belief.
Yeah.
Right? What makes you better? Well, you believe you are.
Right.
Right? And like that's what Ashley needed, was she just needed to have a little infusion of, "Oh, I believe again."
Yeah. Because I was definitely feeling like it didn't.
And that's what it comes back to. Belief kills arrogance, right? If you want to kill arrogance, develop a belief and then believe in it steadfastly. Yeah. It'll kill the arrogance.
We're doing that. One thing that I've done, and I've always maintained this, and if you look back over the history of our Facebook page, I don't think you've ever seen me, at least not knowingly, post where like, "Oh, we have the best cinnamon rolls in town," or "We make the best cakes." One, because I hate when bakers do that, because best is subjective. Right. What is best to me could be the worst thing to you.
Right.
And so best is subjective. So I don't want to open myself up to that, but also I know my personality and I don't want to get caught up on that word best. Now, if you might read on our website now where it's like, "We do our best." Those are the kinds of phrases that we use, but I will never say
we're aiming to be the best, but we're never going to try and take the title.
Yep. Well, and I've always spoken, there are times where I've done conferences for business leaders and stuff with Liberty University, spoken at their business college before, and just talking about how you maintain that image without being arrogant and without being like, "Oh, I'm better than they are." You might be better than they are in area A, but you're not better than they are in all of the areas. Right. Because there are some bakeries here that I actually refer customers to for different items because they make them better than we do.
Right.
Yeah.
That's just, we can't do it all.
Well, it comes down to, and we talk about this on the show quite a bit, is that everyone has competition. Everyone has somebody who does something relatively similar to them. And as we've talked about co-opetition and how that's collaboration.
And I have changed what I say about that a little bit.
Okay.
All right. And this is not my idea, but somebody said it the other day and I was like, and I just pointed at him and I was like, here you go. So somebody that used to be in one industry that involves healthcare, they moved to a different one. They're a direct competitor now. And he came by my office to say like, "Hey, I've switched jobs," things like that. And I said, "Well, this is a new industry for you. Like, it's still healthcare, but it's specifically, we do the same thing." I was like, if you ever have questions or you want to know how to do things easier or how we do things, I'm like, let me know. We'll go get coffee or lunch or something. I'm like, because collaboration happens at the top, competition happens at the bottom.
That's right.
Right. So it's the whole co-opetition thing. Yeah. Right. But it's more than that. It's like, we have competition, but they're not competing at the same level we are. Right. Because the ones who are doing things and doing it right, we are collaborating with them,
Yep.
and we are essentially a team that shares business.
I love to collaborate, and I can't tell you how many times, I think at least twice a week, we get a call, well, so-and-so bakery referred me to you, and I do the same thing to them. We're in a college town. There's no short of weddings. They're like a dime a dozen here. There is enough business here for all of us, and we do better if we work together.
And in most industries, if everybody shut but you, or everybody shut but me, or vice, like any of that, right? I couldn't handle all the business.
You can't.
No.
I can't.
Yeah. And there's no
Even
control.
if I got all the employees, all the product, everything,
Yeah.
we still can't do it because there would be so much. So
We have a cap. Actually, that's why we started the Phoenix Club, because right now we're at our cap and we cannot be at our cap.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're going to cut to a quick commercial. And then we are going to be back and finish talking with Ashley, but we're going to bring Rob in because we want to learn more about Mission Clarity. Today's podcast is brought to you by Omega Disaster Restoration, located in Campbell County, Virginia. Omega specializes in water, fire, and smoke damage restoration, as well as mold remediation. Their region includes Central and Southwest Virginia, which spans a vast service area from Blacksburg to Charlottesville and Stanton to Danville.
In addition to disaster restoration and full service reconstruction and remodeling, Omega is proud to offer custom all-wood cabinets through their Hanover Woodworking Studio, custom countertops via their Top Solution Studio, and dumpster services through Old Dominion Dumpsters, all part of the Omega family of brands. A beautiful showroom is currently under construction at their Exchange Drive location and will be soon open to the public, showcasing their diverse offering.
Customers can call 434-616-4659 for emergency assistance with water, fire, smoke damage, or mold remediation needs. Omega provides 24/7 emergency response, ensuring that help is always available. Locally owned and not a franchise, Omega is your first and last call in any emergency, restoring your home or business from beginning to end. For more information about Omega Disaster Restoration and their comprehensive services, please visit omegadisasterrestoration.com/VA/Lynchburg.
One thing protects it all, your roof. And when you've got a new one, you're set for decades. I'm Andrew Lee. Our company, Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors, is trusted by homeowners and businesses for all roofing and exterior projects. Shingles, metal, slate, gutters, windows, siding, decks, and more. Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors is your go-to for all protection and efficiency. Get your free no-hassle inspection today. Call or text 434-515-2868. Perimeter Roofing and Exteriors, protecting from the top down.
All right, we are back. I was paying attention.
See, I let you do it that
I was
time.
on the phone.
Yeah.
So we are back, and you guys have heard, and we're still going to be talking with Ashley somewhat, but you've kind of heard us mentioning Rob's name. We said, well, we'll talk about this later. And now the elusive Rob with Mission Clarity, we've got him here, and I'm excited for people to hear more about what Rob does, because not only has he helped Ashley, but he is currently working with me at the CVABC, on getting our 501c3 started and our nonprofit side, which is going to be super exciting once we unveil.
And you've done work with quite
things.
a few CVABC members too, because you've worked with Love Heals some too, right?
Yeah, I've actually same kind of capacity that I've been working with Ashley. I've been doing some things with them
Because I'm on their board, so they talk about you quite a bit. So I was like, I think that was right.
we meet once a month right now.
Nice.
And I help them with some production work for their current tour that they're on. That it's just about wrapped up. So yep.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been in a circle yet where I have not heard your name drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I'm
it's
excited
nothing
'cause
bad.
We have some big ideas coming out too, I think, Rob.
And it was like
Let's go.
20 people I'd heard talk about you before I ever met you. And I was like, that's how you enter a room.
Yeah.
Right. Let your name go first.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, oh, yeah, I know you. Everybody's talking about you. Where you been? And you're like, I've been working on all these people. Like, it's crazy. So,
Yeah.
So, anyway, go ahead.
So I guess just to start us out, tell us like about Mission Clarity and like how you kind of got there and what it all, what it's the meaning behind it.
Well, so I guess a lot of my background comes from nonprofit marketing, right? And so that gave me the place where I could actually talk about story more, because that's what I love. At the root of everything that I do, I love story. I love mission. I love what people are passionate about. And so over the course of, 5-6 years of doing nonprofit marketing, I kept kind of bumping into, I don't want to help just one. I want to help everybody. and I just, and part of it too is this selfishly, I just want to know everybody's stories. I'm like, man, what makes Heather? What makes Mike? Why is Mike in this space? What's Visiting Angels? Right. And what's the tick behind it? Right. And so I'll just kind of just leave it at that. Really, that's what I love. I love helping people tell their story. And we talked a little bit about marketing and mission and like the intersection of those two. It's called mission clarity because what I've discovered is that if you can just clarify your mission, that is 50% of your marketing right there. Is that if people can understand what your mission is, it's not so much the what, they want to know why. Why does Ashley make cupcakes? Why does Ashley design cakes? And they want that, and they want that peek behind the scenes, and they want to understand that, because that's the power of small business, is that you're right. You can walk into a 7 Brew, you can drive into a 7 Brew, or you could park in the parking spot, go in and get a cup of coffee from Tommy. And why would you do that? Well, because Tommy supports the community, right? And every cup of coffee, you can give back even more, right? And so the more that the community understands that, the more that the community can take care of itself. That's what I believe in. I believe in the power of neighbors. I believe in the power of mission. And I truly believe that if you focus on the mission, the money always follows. Right. Money always follows mission.
Right.
If you put the money first, you'll lose your mission.
And you come to this from a small business background too, because you had your own. Rob and I actually met
RMA years ago.
Because he had a small business and he was a member, and that's how I originally met Rob.
Yeah, I had a photo print shop for a while in Forest. And people don't print pictures after 2017, 2018. So I said, well, it was a cool thing. I saw a lot of cool people, saw a lot of cool stories, and decided to lean into the marketing thing after that. Yeah.
I think the best thing about working with Rob, even in the small amount that I've started working with him just on the projects, is how, he sits there and he listens. Like, I'm like, this is what I want. This is like, I'm rambling. But then, he comes out with like these great ideas and he's like, well, have you ever thought about doing it like this? Or, I have some great ideas, but I'm going to think about it. Like, he doesn't just come straight out and be like, here's what he goes in and he thinks about like what's going to be best for the vision or the mission and the things that you're trying to accomplish, and helps to put those in place. So like I can't wait for what I think Rob and I are going to put out there that's going to help Central Virginia Business Coalition, which then effectively will help small businesses in this community in general coming soon. So TBA.
I think what I value most too, Rob, is that when at my lowest is when you came into our team, and not just my lowest, my team. I mean, we were all feeling it. My team knew we were closing first before everybody else did.
It's contagious, right?
It
like
is.
that.
We just
when you know you're gonna close.
Yeah, we just felt so, I don't know, just desolate. It was like, man, like, how did this happen? Why weren't we good enough? And then as survivors, we're seconding, like, we aren't we aren't good enough. Nobody wants us, like that kind of thing. But when you came in, you didn't just see the struggle and hear the story. You listened, like you genuinely heard it, and you were like, hey, we can fix this. This isn't permanent. You don't have to. And it was like slowly you helped us all believe, and we all got excited. And as my team got excited, I got excited, because a lot of me, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know how to say it, but like how my team feels, it affects me. And on the days when we didn't have it, and I didn't, like, legitimately did not want to get out of bed, did not want to go in, the only reason I went in is because my staff showed up that day. And I felt like, well, if they can show up, then I have to show up. And so it was, but having you come alongside us and not just hear me, but hear my staff and see them, like you actually saw them. You didn't see us as I don't know, a checkbox on a charity. We weren't a charity case. It was something that you fully invested in. And I hear that from obviously me, but then everyone else who's a paying customer. And I think I've already asked you, like, hey, how can we continue this? And what are your rates? Because I'm sold. It's been just all around.
Do you remember Brian's talk right before mine at the Lead On Summit?
Yes.
And Brian talked about how once you've had a 9 problem and you encounter like a 4 or 5 or a 6 problem, right? Like that was such a great talk.
It was.
But if you think about that in connection, with you had so many difficult things. So for me, all I had to do was remind you, you've already had 9 problems, Ashley.
Yeah.
This is a 6, right? And And
It's funny because that's exactly when he was saying, I was like, okay, so this is a small problem compared to what I've had, but why can't I get past it? So it's funny you say that.
Well, and the thing was too, and even just that day, and I'll just launch right into this kind of the origin story, if you will, right? 2 days before, the person that I looked to as like my mom had passed away. And she had been on life support at Centra, and, you know, they lit up the hospital green because she donated her organs, and they did all of that. And it was just a very traumatic time. And my talk was called Joyful Marketing in a Fearful World.
Right.
And all I felt that morning was just sad.
Yeah.
And that was probably the saddest that morning that I had been in a long time. I don't really let myself sit in sadness very long because I love joy. I love like this. This feeds my soul.
Right.
But then came in there and I saw your sadness. And you're sitting there at that table, and I'm like, because I had been we did a little project, right? And the little project was, hey, in 5 minutes, we're going to build a marketing plan, right? And so kind of like got to go around and kind of get that energy in the room or whatever. But from you, I got the energy of like, you want to do it, but I also got, she's in a place, right?
Yep.
And I don't believe really in like people coming back from the dead and like visiting you. But in my ear was Claudia Fletcher, who had passed away 2 days before. And she was like, Rob, just commit for a year. Just give her the best. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I had no plans for that. I didn't even know who you were.
Yeah.
I'd never even heard of Sweet Indulgence Bakery before that morning. I tasted one of your little pastries of some kind. I think it was anyway, I don't even really, I don't remember it because I just remember.
If it was a Pop-Tart, this is a life-changing moment.
Right. I don't think I've had one of those yet.
Oh, we got to fix that.
And I keep seeing pictures and I'm like, come on.
Okay, we'll have some for you the next
I need to
meeting
get
we have.
Well, funny story about that too. So it's like they had this pumpkin cinnamon roll that they had like made for me. They're like, come back and get it later that day because it's going to bake, right? And I never came back later that day. So I had to go buy one from Tommy at Mission House. And I was like, dude, it was legit. Anyway. But what I want to really lean into with all of this is that if you just keep showing up with your best, everything else takes care of itself, right? Like the reason why the logo looks the way it looks, you keep saying it's my brainchild. It's not. It was yours. My job was just to listen. That's what my job is. And that's why I love my job. You know what's fun to do? Listen to somebody tell you their story.
Right.
That is fun. I get to do that and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
So I eat that up. I love that because anybody can create ads that get 1 million clicks online. And what are those actually valued at? You know, how many cash register hits are you going to get from that? Who knows, right? But did you warm somebody's heart? Did you induce a smile? Did you shake a hand? Right? At the end of the day, that's what makes small business.
Yeah.
Like the lifeblood of community is because those are the things that you're doing. You know, can I change the SEO on a website and make a website, you know, get a whole bunch of traffic? Yeah. But that doesn't do it for me. Like, can I do it? Do I do it? Yeah. Do people pay me to do it? Yeah. But what does it for me is walking into rooms and hearing, hey, Rob. And that's cool. And then watching people, like, I've got so many people now who know each other because I connected them.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing, to just stand back in a room and see them developing a relationship and know, And now they're just doing it.
I had that same, like this past weekend, we had one of our members that got married. And it was crazy how many times I got tagged. The CVABC got tagged in wedding things because she got married. The person that did her officiated was a member. The person who did her photography was a member. The person that did her charcuterie was a member. And every time they tagged, they were like, I met her through the Central Virginia Business Coalition. I met her through the Central Virginia Business Coalition. And I just sat there and I was just like, this is so awesome to see these connections. I wasn't at the wedding. Thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. But like, where was my invite?
No, I get it.
No, I'm just playing.
When they were like, speak now or
so
forever hold your
cool.
peace, she wouldn't have handled it. So
Stop. But anyway, but I think that's what you're
Thank you.
saying. Like, I think that's, it's awesome. And so many small businesses in our area, I think, could really, really use some mission clarity in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of them coming up to me going like, people jump in and they don't really know what they're jumping into.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they're trying to swim out, and it's like, where do I go from here? But having someone that.
But let me say one thing, because it's kind of like the CVABC, right? So this has worked because you were both invested in it,
Right.
right? It's not that just that like it's like, hey, I've got your services to help me improve things. Let me know when it's fixed.
Yeah.
Right. It was collaboration,
Right.
more than contracting.
I
right?
have dropped his name so many times in the last, like, I don't even know how many months, just constantly, like, oh, you need to work with him. Here's his name. Here's his
Do you
number.
not have a picture of him up on the wall at the bakery? Because I think
You know, we need to do
you
this.
should like employee of the month and have Rob like that'd be great.
But isn't that's what collaboration is?
Right.
Collaboration is that and you guys even talked about this, like in changing language from like sponsor to partner, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what partnership is. Partnership is, hey, here's what I think you should do, Ashley. And then you coming back with, okay, here's what my staff and I think about, blah, 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 right? So like the Phoenix Club, for instance, right? I was like, why don't you just offer the surplus that I keep seeing you like talk about at
so
a
much
reduced
surplus right now.
rate for these people who give to this goal? And she was like,
Yeah. My mind was like, I never thought of that.
because I'm just over here like it's just surplus until you sell it.
Yeah.
Right.
So you might as well.
And as long as you know where my office is, there's never surplus. So, because we did that, because you had stuff like at Christmas last year. So you were like, I've got like extra
I
stuff
finally
left over and I don't
responded
know
to
what
your
do.
review, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I saw that. I haven't checked it yet, though. So like, I'm just doing that to make you feel better. Honestly, no. But
I
like,
needed it.
like at Christmas, like I was like, I don't know what we do something for our staff every year. And it was a tough year for us last year, right? Like it was not the year that I thought it was going to be. So, like I was kind of caught behind the, like, I don't know what to do for our employees this year. Like we need to do something, right? My wife is a baker, has a business where she makes cookies, and she makes.
Oh, they're so good.
When she's like, "This is the best cookie I've ever had," it was just like, "I'm sorry, what?"
I don't know what that
Like-
caramel crunch thing is, but I was thinking about that.
But that fed her soul, right?
It did.
To have
It
somebody
did.
who's
What is
an
it called?
expert,
I don't know,
right?
but
That
it's delicious.
feeds the soul.
It did, but like I was like,
Sheena, if you're listening, what is that cookie called?
it's
Yeah.
the caramel crunch.
Oh, okay, that
caramel
one.
crunch.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
delicious. I need that in my life.
I'm a cookie
that
expert. Trust me.
sounds delicious.
It's so freaking good.
I'll get you some.
Let's go.
It may be a little bit, but because she's going through school right now. But anyway, but like, so my wife is a baker, and I still reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, can you do something for our employees?" Right? Because I'm not going to go home and be like, "Hey, Sheena, can you bake for 35, 40 people?" And she's like, "Oh, I have stuff. Like this works great." And I'm like, "Great, let's work it out," and boom, go. And it was stuff that you had. I still have your container, by the way.
Yeah, I know. They
I just
ask me
realized.
every once in a while, like, hey, does that guy? I was like, yeah, I just need to text him and hassle him.
Yeah, I should have brought it today.
Oh.
I literally had my hands on it yesterday. Anyway, getting off topic, but as I do. But it was great because like everybody was raving about her things, and I was like, oh well, like her website's on there, go check it out, right? So, but it helped me like in a moment, but it also was like, oh, well, wasn't sure what I was going to do with the stuff, so that's perfect, right? So it was, there's never surplus. You just gotta be like, hey, I've got a deal for a business today in the CVABC, like,
And that's where like the Phoenix Club comes in, is because so we're stagnant right now. We desperately need to grow, and we can't grow because we don't have the equipment and refrigeration that we need to grow. When I math it all out and like including install fees and all that, it's $50,000. Well, we don't have $50,000.
that's pocket change.
I know, right? Yeah. Come on. What am I doing
I'm
wrong?
saying that so in 5 years we could look back and be like, look how quick you raised that. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's why we launched the Phoenix
And that's
Club.
belief.
That's belief.
Yeah.
That's belief.
And that's what I'm learning is like believing in it. So like I know that we'll raise that $50,000. I know that we'll get it. I know that we'll be able to get our walk in. I know because with each dollar raised, and if we can put this walk in, and if we can put our additional refrigeration in and get the extra mixer and the extra tools, I can hire another person. I have a young woman right now who lives in a shelter, a domestic violence shelter, who I want to hire so badly. She would be amazing on our team. She's done her bench test. I want to hire her. We don't have the funds to do it. And we can't until I take on additional wholesale accounts. I can't take on additional wholesale accounts until I have that refrigeration. And that's what our campaign, when you click on that Join the Phoenix Club, talks about. And that's why we're doing this. And if you choose to give to that, then you get added to our email list where you're getting access to our surplus product, at wholesale prices. I don't do that for anybody. I don't even do that for you, Mike. Like,
Right.
I don't do that for
Don't do that
anybody.
for me, because you'll go broke.
She does.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get that. You also
How
get
much can
access.
we put you down for?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
You know, you also get access to, we're going to start doing, I think we haven't decided if we're going to do quarterly or maybe just one big annual event, a private tasting where you get to come in and you get to enjoy pastry that is not available and will never be available to the public, you know, and it's just a tasting event as our thank you for supporting our company.
That's also good research, though, to try new flavors and things.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely, it is. It's definitely, it serves us both.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is that they get access to exclusive discounts. Like I had a cake order that didn't pay, so I had to cancel their order, but I had thought they'd paid, so I'd already made the cake. It's just filled. So it's currently wrapped and put in my freezer because what else am I going to do with it? I'm not going to throw away a whole cake.
And before people out there who don't bake, don't freak out and go like, you put it in the freezer because you have to freeze them to frost them, right? Yes. Am I right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So we put ours, we'll fill them and then I pop them in the freezer usually for about an hour and then I pull it out and I'll ice it. And it just helps my icing set really fast because I work with Italian buttercream, which does not crust.
And also your cake doesn't fall apart.
Yeah, that too.
Which is the main thing. So
It's nice.
Yeah.
Look, I just know it tastes really fucking good. So like I'm listening to this, I'm like, that's cool, but it tastes really good.
Yeah, because we do make them fresh. So we don't have cakes for months in the freezer. But if we had somebody on our email list, I would email, say, hey, we had a canceled cake order. Here's the flavor. Here's what it's filled with. What do you want it? And instead of a $60, because it's $65 cake, instead of $65, I'll give it to you for $40. I'll give it to you for $35, whatever. Just something to get it out of my stuff so that we have the space because we're dying for space right now.
So if anybody wants to order a cake around December 20th, which is like my birthday, and put something
So
on it.
mine's the 10th. So whatever podcast guest is in between those two, they're buying a cake.
And then just not pay for it. And then
I'm
we'll
going to
just
sign
get
Matt
it.
Litchford up to make him buy the cake.
Oh, we can sign a Matt Litchford up for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Matt will do it. He'll do it.
Good job, Matt. Thank you for the cake.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
You're
We
so
all
kind,
love
Matt. But yeah, and that's the thing, like you talk about partnerships. Matt, like he came in and did all the wiring, and I found him because of the CVABC, and now Matt has become a friend of not just the bakery, but a friend to me. Him and his wife are amazing people,
right?
And it's just you build in the CVABC not just business relationships, but you build genuine relationships. When I want to celebrate something, y'all got that invitation to our launch party first, you know, because those were the people that I wanted to celebrate with. And it's just, and when I was at my absolute lowest, it was like Christian Youngblood. You know, she sat there with me through it. And it's just the delegates sat there with me through it. Terry, then the list goes on and on. These people that were there through the rise and the fall and then the rise again, it just you create friends. That's why I love like when we do our Friendsgiving stuff for delegates and like and the Christmas stuff. It's fun because you get to just exist with these people and enjoy life and celebrate life, but then also walk through life because life isn't always a celebration.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
Yes. Because my last couple of weeks have not been a celebration. So
That was like, just to talk on that, like I knew you've had some stuff. And like you messaged me yesterday and you were like, I'm not going to make it to the delegate meeting. And so I said, okay. And then after I said, okay, I thought about it and I was like, I messaged him. I said, are you okay? Like, are you okay? Like, because you know, we joke about like if he can't come to the podcast, something, you know, now or then. But like I knew he'd been going through a lot of stuff. And like I wanted him to realize that like, you know, he's been there for me through a lot of things.
you care about more than if I just show up to host the podcast to make it easier for
like
you.
that's what I'm saying. Like I wanted to be like, you know, are you physically okay? I was like, are things going all right with you? Because there's genuinely relationships and people care, and that's, you know, like that's the kind of thing. Like it's more than just like, oh, okay, well,
And
you
I
can't come to the delegate meeting. I didn't make a snarky like, well, thanks a lot.
We normally would be like, oh, well, you suck, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I would.
you
Like,
can't-
say that.
right. But I love that we both kind of feel like we know when grace is needed. And like yesterday was definitely one of it because I was like, last week I didn't go out of my office once. I think I worked 75 hours like solid in the office, not doing a single event outside of the office except for to go to the pharmacy and pick up medicine. Like literally that was the only
Which
place
isn't
I
any
went, right?
fun. So
No, it's not. And it's sad when you pull up to a window and they're like, Mr. Norfield? I'm like,
oh man,
hi Nelson, how are you? Like he's got, Nelson at CVS on Langhorne Road, great customer service. Anyway, it's always a conversation. So, but yeah, it's like it was one of the hardest weeks because like we had to go through and we had a major staff change in our office and things like that, which is a positive thing we saw coming, but we did not see the problems that were left behind by the person that left. So having to fix those and address those and realizing like I can handle the problem. I can handle 5 problems. You give me 354 problems. Like
It's still 354.
I now have only one problem, and that's I don't know where to start and I can't do anything. Right. So I had to really get it just like literally, it's like the Shel Silverstein poem, How Do You Eat an Elephant? One Bite at a Time.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
One of my favorite things, or it was a whale. I don't remember which.
I think it's a whale.
It's a whale and Shel Silverstein.
It's a whale.
Anyway. So I just had to literally start working on things. And like, I finally dug out of that like Monday. Right. And was like, okay.
But
Here
you
we
could
go.
breathe a
I'm
little
ready to
bit.
go.
Yeah.
But it was like, and yesterday, like nothing could have stopped me. I got home. I drove my wife crazy because I was like, let me help you. Let me help you with, because I haven't been there for a week. Like I haven't been home. Like I have been at the office literally 12 hours a day, 8 hours on Sunday, all the way through. And I refused to work Saturdays because that's a hard limit for me. So took Saturday off, went back 8 hours on Sunday again. Right.
Yeah.
So like, I really hadn't been home much. So like I got home yesterday and I'm like, and we do mom's dinner every Tuesday with both of our moms so that we have designated time to see them, all this stuff.
That's
well,
amazing.
Sheena works in the office on Tuesday. So she gets home at 5 and we got to get everything done and dinner cooked by the time they get there. It's supposed to be 6:30. They get there at 6. Hi, Mom. And and it's fine. You come early. But like I was helping with laundry and cleaning up stuff and like moving stuff around. Like I started putting laundry away. Like they're getting ready to come. Like I was just like so happy to be like
You
finally
get that
see
like
a finish
burst
line.
of energy.
And then like today driving here, like I had a doctor's appointment this morning and there was not enough time to go back to the office and then come to Bedford. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to Bedford and go to the Blue Lady and get a BLT. It was fantastic. And like being able to see sunshine and drive somewhere, it was just like nothing could
It's like
stop
this
me today.
euphoric
Right?
feeling.
Bluebirds coming beside your car.
Right. Yeah. And then I had a little bluebird sit with me at lunch and we talked about
He had a
problems in
little
the
Snow
town.
White moment. He's just prancing through the forest, having his little Snow White moment.
Right. And the Snow White
See
was,
Mike just like
I could hear it's hard to whistle into these microphones because they're not. Yeah, there you go.
There
It's
you
like
go.
a Snow White whistle thing.
I can't whistle. Fun fact.
But it was like, it was good to get out.
Oh, man.
And it was, it's because you won't stop talking long enough to whistle.
Yo.
Shush.
Oh.
I'm not gonna ask
Oh,
you if
I
you're
love
doing
it.
okay anymore.
All I know is I would never hear
Have fun.
speak
Still
now
paying
or
the
forever
price
hold
for
your
that.
peace the same again. So, but yeah, so it's like being able to see the sunshine and then going to the Blue Lady and talking to Jay about things that are going on in the town with like the adult care center,
Yeah.
like the adult center
Yep.
for people with intellectual disabilities. And I gave him like, here's 2 companies that do that. He goes, do you do this? And I'm like, no. I was like, but here's 2 companies I know that do.
Mhm.
And I know there's more out there. Like I would talk to them and see what ideas they have because maybe they want to open a center in Bedford or something like that because it's there's a deadline coming up where those people aren't going to have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And to see how invested Jay was, like he doesn't have a dog in that fight.
Yeah.
And he was telling me names of people and like this person, like his mom's going through cancer and like,
Yeah.
you know,
What are you going to do? Yeah.
what's he going to do when there's nothing, right? And so, and they can't live independently. You could tell he was actually worried. So it was great I just went to get a BLT because I was hungry and I didn't have time to eat before my doctor's appointment and I had time to kill, right? But we ended up like talking about like how can we fix this? And I'm like, I don't have an answer for you, but here's who might, right?
This is what I love about this community. It's like we all, and I see this over and over and over. We all come together with these problems, and it's like you were mentioning, you know, all these problems that were left behind with their person. I had one of those moments when we were going through, and just because the rebrand also, and just working with you in general, kind of forced me to look at other things that were beyond just our brand, and look at and realizing all these problems that were here not because of people, but because of me. And I was like, ooh, I need to fix that. And sometimes it was an arrogance and ego thing. Sometimes it was a physical thing that I needed to fix within our policies or our structure.
And sometimes it's because you don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have learned so much. Just not just working with you, Rob, but like talking with each and like every person I've spoken. Well, why don't you try this? And you know, and I'm a person like keep talking about arrogance, but at the end of the day, I'm also very hungry for collaboration. I love collaboration. It excites me. Kind of like how you love to hear people's story. I get excited to help another business and collaborate. It is by far my favorite thing.
And it is very interesting how many people I see that run businesses that will celebrate someone else's success while sitting in their own shadow.
Right.
Ooh, I heard that for
Look
the
at
first time
that.
as it came out of my mouth. Like, like it's like the whole imposter syndrome thing. Like I'll sit in my office and be like, we're terrible. You've never been in my office, but you have. What's the first thing you see when you walk in my office?
I haven't been in there in a while.
The wall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That literally the shelves are sagging because there's so many awards on. There's like 40 awards, and I just got an email. We got another one. So like, hey,
Congratulations.
But when I'm those are up there because when I'm like in my office, like, why are we doing this? Like we're just a failure. I'll just walk out there and sit in a chair and just look at it and be like, I'm the only one that thinks that. Right now in this moment, I'm the only one, and that one lady. Like,
when you walk out, like when you guys been to our space, like when you walk in our shit, if you look at the right, that whole wall is filled with awards.
Right.
There's no more room. And I just got another one as well. And I'm like, well, I don't know where we'll put it.
but we are so quick to celebrate someone else's
Exactly.
victory while looking at our own insecurities,
Right.
right? And that's sitting in your own shadow. Like that, I heard that for the first time as it came out, but that's going to come back. Like sitting in your own shadow, like how can I? And like if you would just stand up and look at yourself, like the shadow's gone. Like it's hard to celebrate yourself.
I'm so fearful now of becoming arrogant again.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I think that there's a line between, am I doing it to like, you say you toot your own horn, it's a sad dog that doesn't wag its own tail or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But then like, where's the line of, well, then I'm just arrogant. Like, I'm like, ooh, we're the best. But like,
so
how do you get that?
you stay curious.
Yeah.
Curiosity's going to kill that.
Yeah.
Because if you stay curious about what other people are doing and you stay curious about why they're doing it, right? Like you mentioned earlier, the whole looking at where somebody is right now. Well, you started from there. And so if you look at them in more of like a curiosity standpoint, that'll kill some of that arrogance. That'll kill some of that judgment because, wait, why are they doing it? I wonder if their story is like mine. I wonder if their story is completely different from mine.
Leaning into that too, like seeing where people are starting from. I've been leaning into that because that's the other part of our mission is helping other business owners get their start. And so they can rent kitchen space from us. We have 3 or 4 businesses right now that use our kitchen as a commissary. And it helps them so significantly because they have, I think they pay, it depends. It's like $100 to $300 a month, depending on how often they're going to get set at an hourly thing. And they have space in there. They have commissary. They are under our licensure, so they don't have to drop all this money on the special licensure. They have to have their serve safe. So like there's some licensures you can't ride on our coattails the whole way, but it gives them that start and that ability to be like, okay, I can gain their, and the goal is for them to move on and be able to get their own place because you want to see them succeed.
Yep.
And celebrate their success.
Have you ever read the book Rooting for Rivals?
No.
Y'all should pretty much this entire conversation was that book.
Okay.
John Greer.
I'll have to look it up.
So should we sue for royalties or just read it? Just asking for a friend.
I'll have to go get it and put it on our bookshelf at the office because we have like books.
No, you should get it and read it, Heather.
No, I want to read it, but then I have to put it on the bookshelf, Mike.
Okay. But what you literally said.
Look, I'll just download it on my Kindle.
No, but I want to put it on the shelf, like, because we do have a bookshelf for our members to come and they can come and get a book and read it and like business focused books and things like that. So
do you have Unreasonable Hospitality on that bookshelf too?
I don't know if we have that or not.
Oh, you got to have that one too.
Okay.
Okay.
Unreasonable. Yeah, I'm just adding.
That's my problem. So that was something also that I've learned with working with Rob is like, you guys know my heart. Like I tend to give to beyond the point that it hurts and not just myself, but my family, my business. And that's just the heart that God has given me. Like I see someone in need. I'm like, oh, I can help. Or I hear someone, I'm like, oh, I can do this and I can do that. And so learning to focus on my mission and having that clarity and understanding that while I want to do it all and I can do it all, I don't have to do it all. And at the end of the actually, I can't do it all. And I can't do it. Well, maybe I can do it all, but I can't do it all well.
Right.
And so
it's best that you don't do it all.
And I don't want to be. I don't want to do it all. We bake well. And beyond baking, I'm good at hearing people and at giving them a safe space to exist and a safe space to heal and making sure that they are empowered and they are healed. And that comes from my own walk where I didn't have that. And I don't ever want somebody to have to walk through and feel that way. And I'm good at making that happen. And that is where I'm best at. And that's what the Lord has called me to do. And I feel like, and you've also helped me figure out like how my heart for nonprofit work can be tied into what we're doing and I'm so excited about getting that nonprofit started and being able to do consultations and teach other businesses how they can have trauma-informed spaces because you don't have to go as far and wide as we did. You don't have to have an entirely trauma-informed space. You can have a simple policy in there, like when the kids are at school or out of school, your people can work from home that day because then they don't have to pay for childcare. Y'all look at each other like simple
so I had one of my
that.
staff members worked 3 hours a day in the office all summer and stayed home with their kids for the rest of the time and worked from home.
Yeah.
Guess what? Her job still got done.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think about that being like almost like a trauma sensitive area. Like interesting.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like this, that exact case in point. Like a lot of people don't realize just simple policies that don't require you to restructure your whole company. They don't require you to rewrite your business
Well,
plan.
you're creating a capacity for gratefulness in them, right?
Yeah.
By giving them something, you're creating that capacity. And what makes a better employee than gratefulness?
Yeah.
So I had an employee who has worked for us twice, and one time she was really struggling, and I was like, it's okay, you can take today off. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember.
we got it covered. And she said, and I told her, I was like, grace is the building block of loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
The most annoying thing about this employee is I'm like, I'll go to her and I'll be like, hey, I've already done it. I saw you had a need and I already did it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Didn't even let
how
me
am I
ask.
supposed to give you any tasks when you've done it? And like this morning, I gave her a whole list, an annoyingly long list of regulations to print out sheet by sheet, section by section. Like I need you to download the PDF from the Virginia Department of Health website so that they're up to date, because we've got them all. But we found out, Tiana and I had an argument the other day because I was like, well, the regulations say this. She goes, no, they say this. Well, she had an old copy. Well, I gave her that copy, but I didn't realize they changed.
Oh,
Right. And
yeah.
but I knew the current regulation, but the only thing she had to go off was
Was
the
the old
one
one.
printed.
Mhm.
It was like from 2013. That's what
Yeah.
the copy said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not print it 2013
Yeah.
because we weren't even a thing.
Well-
but like it,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So but she's going through and she's printing all these things, and she's like, no problem, I'm happy to do it.
Mhm.
Right. And it's
Right.
because she knows that she's appreciated.
But I think I think more businesses need to realize that it's not always an 8 to 5 thing.
Mhm.
Like like for example, like my office manager, like Megan, we don't have set hours like each week. She comes in, we'll talk each week about, oh, well, where are we going to be at? Like, so, for example, like last night, I had to be with my daughter at a cheerleading dinner, like that way they were doing for their things. And then I come to find out it was the same night as the Browns Heating and Air giveaway that we sponsor. So we really needed to have somebody representing us there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to miss my daughter's cheer thing because somebody has to be there. Because I wasn't going to ask Megan to come outside of her, not that it was outside of her time, because she could have alleviated, later in the week, but
Right.
It's after 5.
Yeah.
It's really not her job. Like she doesn't have to go to that thing. And she was just like, well, you're not going to miss your daughter's dinner. And I said, well, I kind of have to. And she said, no. She said, there have been so many times that you've let me off so I could get to Ethan's football game ahead of time, or so I could go do this or I could do that. And she was like, you're not missing your daughter's thing because of this. And she was like, I will go to the event. And she went along with one of my delegates and Autumn, our
Yeah, I didn't get an
events
invite this
person.
year, but it's fine. Last year was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got invited.
That's so funny.
But, but one thing I want to point out is sometimes the best leadership comes from below,
Yeah.
right? Because she reports to you.
Yeah.
And the amount of times that someone on my staff, many different levels, has been like, well, you allow everybody else to do this. Why can't you do this? Right? Like, why can't you have a flexible schedule?
I
Why?
got to experience that this week because I was like stressing about today.
It's life-changing.
In the middle of the day. And actually, when Ashlyn spoke, so at our launch party, we had 3 survivors that shared their stories for the first time. And it was amazing and beautiful. I was so proud of them. But one of them said something in her speech that really just it hit me in the face in every good way. Because, as businesses, we're doing all these things to enrich our people's lives. And at the back of your mind, you're like, okay, does it really matter? Does that little thing matter? And in part of her story, she shared that she gets to come to work. And when her daughter asks her if she can have lunch with her, she doesn't have to fear being told no.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to get to go to tell her daughter. And then ironically enough, today she walked in, she's like, hey, she asked me to go to lunch. I was like, sweet, you're going, right? She's like, well, maybe. I was like, you're going, right? And just making sure.
Mhm.
And so it's just, and then I was stressing about today, and one was like, hey, I can handle that little thing. And so it's so cool to kind of see that happen. And it's a good reminder that, those small things do matter.
Mhm.
Those policies to work from home when the kids are out of school, it matters.
Yeah.
It
Well,
makes
it's
a
nice
big
to know that
difference.
even if you're considered to be at the top, you may be the owner or the executive director, but it's nice to see that that your employees or those that you work with, and I say work with because
Yeah.
that's,
Right.
they don't work for
Yeah.
me. They work with me.
Yeah.
That they care enough though about me too to say, no,
Mhm.
you're going to do this versus it just always me being like, no, you're going to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it was really cool.
When I speak at seminars at the business college, I often tell one of the phrases that I'll say is that from your janitor to your CEO, you are all equally important. You cannot do one without the other, and no person is more important than the other. And so that is the culture that I try to walk out within the space. I don't do it all the time. We do get some, the downside of such a close-knit culture is that we do get some employees who get a bit big for their britches and have to be reminded of their place. But at the end of the day, we work together, we're a family, and that you take care of each other.
So people can find Ashley at sibakery.com.
CVA.com. sibakerycva.com. For Central Virginia.
CVA. Perfect. All right. And so I just want to make sure they can also find you on Facebook, everything else. So
Facebook,
we've gone over time because it's been a great episode. I really don't
I know.
care.
I just
Sorry,
realized
Emma.
we were like,
I know, we're like
over. Sorry, buddy.
Emma didn't wave at me and say like, Mike, you're over time. So we're gonna blame her. Now she's waving at me. So we ask every podcast guest 2 questions. One is, how long have you been part of the CVABC?
5 years? Yeah, I joined in 2020 during
COVID.
Yep, during
Okay.
COVID.
And what do you think is the best benefit of being part of the Central
The
Virginia
relationships, hands down.
I couldn't even get the question out all the way. Gosh.
Yep.
So, and then how can people find you? What's your website?
Missionclarity.org.
That's just so simple and
Let's go.
I know.
I
I,
like it.
love it.
see,
so great.
Mission Clarity, it's there. So, how long have you been part of the CVABC?
Oh, well, this go around a month and a half.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was RMA member years ago.
So, did you listen to the podcast last week?
I did not.
Okay.
I have yet to listen to
So,
the
I'm going to tell you what
podcast,
the answer to this question is. What is the best part of the CVABC?
The best part of the CVABC is having conversations with everybody at this table.
No, you're supposed to say Mike. I was looking at me. I was trying to go for 2 weeks in a row.
That's funny.
Yes.
When he started saying having, I thought I was going to say Heather because he was like 8.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, what do you think is the best part of being part of the CVABC?
The relationships, for sure,
for sure.
100%. I think the collaborative nature of it.
Yeah.
I agree.
And in case you weren't listening last week, we get a lot of answer with, oh, Heather's the best, right? Last week, she didn't even get the question out. And Jennifer Sherwood's like, Michael Norfield.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
I won't fail you next time.
It was beautiful.
I'll have another go at this sometime in the future.
And I don't care. I don't even care if that's the joke answer. Actually, no. After that, she's sponsoring a new project.
Yeah, she is. She is.
So
I'm very excited for that.
I don't even drink coffee, but I'm excited.
Yep.
That's just a little teaser. So I'll put tea in my cup, I guess. I don't know. Diet Coke Zero, whatever.
Oh, and if you're listening, watch the CVABC page. In the next few days, we'll have an announcement with what we're doing with the government shutdown and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Talked about the delegate meeting yesterday.
Yes, we did. Yeah. Very cool.
Okay.
Very awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us today.
And thank you to Emma for letting us go over.
Yeah. Thank you, Emma.
Not waving at us. Not a single thing has been thrown at me today. So this is amazing.
Yeah. But if you have listened in and you want to know more how you can support Sweet Indulgence Bakery, how you can purchase items from Sweet Indulgence Bakery, please go to our website and, you can get that information off of our member directory. You can also find more information about Rob and how he can come and potentially walk beside you in your business and help you grow and get some clarity on your business, your mission, and your life at
cvabc.org. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday. Go buy Mission Health Coffee and buy some Sweet Indulgence treats.